Hold on, hold
By
on.
Taylor Swift.
I have to
Hmm.
look up the lyrics to this one song.
Oh no,
Oh
it's
no,
dangerous.
Oh no.
yeah,
I would
I'm worried about where we're going with this.
You think I'm pretty without any makeup on? You think I'm funny when I tell the punchline wrong? You know, I know you get me, so I let my walls come down, down.
Oh,
I don't know. That was pretty spot on. We're probably gonna have to cut that for the YouTube video,
Oh,
otherwise we're
yeah.
gonna get, you know.
we got a copyright infringement.
Isla,
Wait,
recap is yours.
that doesn't seem like a reward for being kind.
The
Whatever.
reward is I will let you take inspiration if you give the recap.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I feel very inspired by that. Just so you know.
Are you being
So,
sarcastic with me right now?
well, I mean, if you can't tell, doesn't matter.
Yes.
I can't help you more than that. So, for recapping, awesome times last week. I got to remake my god, which doesn't necessarily need to be recapped right now, but that's fine. And Mikey stepped into the cross circle and spoke with both a demon who was being nefarious and bad, and was quick to notice that, such that we did not walk into a terrible trap. And then into the cross circle again, where we spoke with Granny, and things are going to be prepped and ready to go. And she was also warned of the demon conversation, so hopefully she's done some things to prepare us for safety. And then we flew on our ship, but we didn't have to fly. The ship did all the flying.
Going
Okay.
on a trip on our favorite flying ship, going through the sky.
You guys are just determined to get us
Profits for
right?
That's awesome. Hey, I thought singing other people's content was fine.
EFP time.
Use.
Okay. So
I think that was everything, but maybe not.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
you are correct in that. That is a
Nailed
correct
it.
summation.
Excellent.
Nailed it. Y'all are doing great. It is great. It is good. It is a good thing. I don't know why I'm acting like I'm vamping for time, but maybe there's a good reason for it, huh?
It's that training you went to on fostering a positive work environment.
So you guys are flying through the air and heading towards where Ruin has told them that Fort Libre is. Ruin, you know you are getting pretty close. Where are
I'm
you?
so excited. What do you mean, where am I? Or where's the ship?
Where are you on the ship?
Obviously, I'm at the bow, looking excitedly out to see what I can recognize. And I'm trying to be patient and calm, but it's obvious that I'm not.
Yeah, you're very excited. How long has it been since Ruin has been home?
Oh, I don't think I've seen my family in like 3 years. It's been a while.
Okay, let's find out how you fail at that.
Fail at what?
Meeting your family again. So, you can see the dark forest of trials beneath you, and you can see out in the distance villages, and you can see sheep, and you can see the occasional shepherd on the ground pointing up at y'all. And Ruin, you feel overcome by tension in the air.
That's not how it normally feels here.
And your vision goes black. And you see a woman standing in a pool upon a tower visible only to you. And she says to you, "Child, who have you brought home with you?"
I'm assuming I recognize this woman.
Have you seen her before?
I've had her described.
She is tall and thin, and her skin is wet and her hair hangs down in wet clumps. And she carries a large sword.
Mm-hmm.
Not as if she means to use it, but as if it is meant for the next worthy person.
Mm-hmm. I immediately show like respect, like a bow to her and say, I have brought home my new companions who serve. I have come to serve Silent Peter as a prophet, and my good friend Zermos, who is a prophet of the Bristlecone grandfather, and my good friend Revenant, who is a servant or a prophet of the Silverthorn god.
I think, you have become a prophetess for another god then, have you?
Mm-hmm.
Shame, I had hopes it would be you after your grandmother's passing.
I thought maybe.
Life
but
takes us ways that surprise us.
That's
but the
a
way
fact.
home is always open.
Thank you.
But know
This is way home.
that when you leave home, you never come back to the same place. For when you return, you see it with new eyes.
Mm-hmm. I hope you will make my friends welcome here. They have been good companions, and they have had long and hard struggles.
They will see the way.
Thank you.
And the black vision in your eyes disappears. And Candelario goes on the intercom. It's like, okay, did anyone else just see that village appear out of nowhere?
It's our home. It's deliberate. Yay! You found it. I'm gonna say a quick thank you to the goddess for letting us find it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you actually see someone standing upon the fort itself. This timber-framed but stone-filled fort that has stairways going up a tower on the outside. This one person is standing, and he is pointing to a field in which you can see that a large tent has been set up.
Oh,
Big
yeah, we
enough
should
to
land
take
near
on
that.
Big enough to take the ship inside of it.
Yeah, that's a good place for us to go.
What's a good place for us to go? Says Candelario Lampwick over the.
Do you not see the tent over there?
Okay, Ruin, when you're up there, you're the spotter. I can't see all that from the bridge. It's harder, it's higher up, it's harder to see things that are lower on the ground. It's meant to be up to see other ships and things just in case I need to shoot the fuck out of them. I feel like I went through this with Zermos.
That was a long way to say no, but cool. So I would say then just go this direction and you'll be where you need to be. And about, however long it takes you to land. Like, I don't know if you just drop straight down or if you have to have some sort of, like, deceleration situation. But you've got probably, like, a couple thousand meters.
Who all is with you on this ship? The team meant for defending the ship.
There's Joey Hefton, Coughlin, who is not really supposed to defend the ship, is just along for the ride.
Right.
And Ringel.
Okay. Hefton masthead and says, recommend left 5-degree radio stay course 340. You were muted, Ruin.
Well, why don't I just turn into like a hawk or something and I'll just squeak at you to pull you in?
What?
You seem to need some parking assistance. I can just fly out and guide you in. Use your intuition, man, and not everything as numbers.
You see where we're going, right, Zermos?
I've already ordered the helm to that course.
Then let's land. Shit.
Okay.
Fucking land the fucking thing already. Goddamn.
You guys, this takes quite a while. You can tell Candelario is still learning the ship. Basically, this thing has been flown in years. And though it's been serviced incredibly well, and he's taken care of it, and he's read all the manuals and shit like that, he's not very comfortable, like, doing these tight maneuvers. But with some work from the people on the ground, pointing and yelling and stuff like that, and some work up ahead, and with Zermos turning into a giant flying eagle and shouting
literally
directions.
Pointing that way. Just flap,
Yep.
flap. Oh.
Yeah, you guys get in.
Yay! We're
And,
finally here. So excited.
And you see your grandmother on some scaffolding inside the tent looking up at you all. And she taps her staff on the ground. And you see from the outside, plant growth rises up. And the limbs of trees expand out and create a canopy covering the tent from view from above.
I did something similar when it came to saving Silent Peter.
Zarmos, is it?
Hail and well met, young lady.
Don't fucking try to do that. No flattering me. No, none of that.
Zermo says
You can
nothing.
tell-
He just sits there and fucking
You can
puts
tell
his
she's
thumbs in his
totally
eyes
charmed.
and fucking sits forever. I'm going to flirt. You leave me alone. Stay out of my game.
This is Shayla. This is her.
Oh my gosh, it's the best.
We do a secret handshake.
And
There you
she
go.
grabs you and she gives you, Mikey, she gives Zermos a kiss on the forehead like she would a grandson. And moves on to each of you and gives you either a kiss on the forehead or the cheek.
I believe you know this little acorn.
Mm-hmm. And your grandmother, Ruin, puts her arms around you and holds you tight.
I give her the biggest, fiercest hug back. I'm so happy to see her. Does she
Good
feel
German
frail
society.
or does she still feel strong?
She feels like that weird old lady strength.
Okay.
Like, you know,
That's good.
her muscles have shrunken down, but it's like they've gotten denser.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels tough, like old
Good.
leather.
She's gonna need it. Things are gonna
Hmm.
get bad. So it's good. And have a big hug.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Granny, thank you for getting everything ready. So excited to be here.
I'm very happy to have you here. I wish it was better under circumstances for all of you.
Yeah. And I'm sorry we're bringing bad tidings, but hopefully we can prepare well enough to weather the storm together.
Yes. What can we do to help?
Well, I think probably we need to eat and get our bearings, and maybe I've already told you what I know. Maybe Zermos and Revenant can fill you in with the information they have, and then you can give us some guidance.
I can take you to the oven hall, and we'll take care of things there.
Sounds good. You guys hungry?
Yes.
Not particularly either, but sure.
I feel like hunger is not a good question for one of your
Revenant knows
stature.
what I mean. He's just being precise for you, which is great. I appreciate that,
Mhm.
Revenant.
I'll
He doesn't
So-
want you offended
I'll
when he
take-
doesn't eat.
I'll take his food.
Yeah, we'll take care of it
Yes.
though. Don't worry about it.
There
Nothing will
won't
go
be
to
any
waste.
extra.
Get you a couple of extra points on those antlers next spring.
Yes,
Which will be mine.
I have to start bulking.
Hmm.
That's the new thing I'm reading is I have to just bulk up before the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So then when spring comes, they come in nice and big.
Right. Well, as you guys are talking about this, she is walking you down. You see lush green fields, forests to your left and right, but with clear fields out. Shepherds are tending to their sheep. You can see people bringing casks of ale into the fort itself. There's this huge wooden fence across the entire thing, and a gate that is left plumb open. And she brings you to this large central building, this meeting hall that is built around a huge oven in which you can see people roasting food and in cooler parts of the oven baking their bread. And she takes you to one of the many tables in the hall and instructs you to sit.
It's
And
nice to be home.
she sits down with you all. And you are offered a meal of mutton and potatoes and carrots and bread.
Oh, and one of the local brews, right? None of the export stuff. You guys got to try this. It's so good.
It's much better than what we keep putting out of the area.
Well, it's just because you can't.
Well, the LPAs bring in good money, but
Yeah.
They're mainly drunk by people who have no sense of taste.
Yep, right here.
Huh.
So, and she waits for the ale to be poured. By Ruin, it's someone you recognize as a cousin of yours. What is his name? He looks to be mid-20s.
Oh, Willem?
Willem.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe?
Who you recognize as Willem de Lubri. Who you recognize also as one of the people your grandmother had originally been considering as her apprentice. And he is directly answering to her now.
Well, that's good news. Hey, Willem, how you doing?
And he gives you a hug. And he says, "She's working me to the bone."
I'm so surprised. Well, that's so exciting, though. These are my good friends, Zermos and Revenant. This is Willem.
He shakes
my cousin.
your hand.
You can kind of assume everyone here is my cousin. It's easy. Unless they're my siblings.
I can see why you moved. The dating pool is very limited.
Well,
there's that too.
there are other lines within the town, but given that there's two different lines of Osian, it makes it hard not to be related to someone who is of Osian.
Yeah, I didn't explain that to them.
Oh, well, the outside world has weird thoughts about gender.
Exactly.
And
really?
She points to an
the outside world has weird thoughts about gender? I had no idea.
She points to an incredibly large portrait, a tapestry actually. And on one side, you see this man with flaming red hair, and then cut down the middle, bisected, is this woman with flaming red hair. And they're wearing much the same clothing, but the man holds a sword in hand and the woman holds a staff.
That's Grandpappy. Being Grandpappy and Grandmammy.
Yes.
I didn't know before I left that not everybody has a Grandpappy, Grandmammy situation going on. Like, most people have a one-gender grandparent.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Well, that is how it is.
I mean, personally, I don't find myself on one side or the other, really. That's why I have these neat socks with my pride flag on it.
Socks in chat.
Can we get Revenant's lucky socks in chat, please?
Mhm.
It's none of my business. I stay out of other people's underpants, unless invited.
That is a good philosophy to have. It would be better or more to have it.
A lot of problems would be solved by that. It's very simple
but
attitude.
speaking of solving
keep it simple.
problems,
Hmm.
what problem can we help you solve here? Are you merely resupplying?
Sort of.
We are currently loading you down with as much dry stores and as much fresh meat as we can put on. Under the direction of your Mr. Lampwick.
Oh, good. He's very organized. I would follow his instructions, and we'll be well off.
He doesn't do well in the moment, though, does he?
No. I mean, not if he hasn't thought about that moment ahead of time.
Likes to panic.
Yes. Well,
especially if you land on him in the bathtub. I still don't understand why he freaked out like that.
He completely lost it.
I know, right?
I'm sorry,
like,
what?
Oh, nothing. It's fine. So, my point being that we're here, mostly we're hoping Grandma, and maybe Willem, you'd be one to help with this, would be up for taking us through the Samhain ritual, or at least obviously it's not Samhain right now, but the ritual with the candle. I have some questions for great-great-grandpa Osian. And Revenant, I think, wanted to talk to someone. Zermos was a little less clear on that.
Did I want to talk to someone? I mean,
I thought you said you did, but maybe not.
I believe
there's someone I do want to talk to. They should
wanted to talk to someone who he knew was dead. He'd be able to do it without my help.
Mm. And I mean, Zermos is also welcome to just join me to talk to my grandpa, to Osian, if he has some good questions. I don't want to. I'm happy to all three of us talk to Grandpa Osian, but that's my purpose. And whatever is
to beseech the spirits outside of Samhain, they may ask for a price.
Yes.
And she goes to the oven, and with the end of her horsehead staff, she pulls out a small loaf that has a symbol of a sword rough cut into it. And she takes 3 of these loaves and hands them out to each of you. This is soul bread.
Mm-hmm.
I do
I've
not
only
know
had it a couple
if
times.
the devils will ever seek you out again. But if they ever ask for your soul, you may give them this instead.
Zermos takes a piece of the bread out of his mouth and kind of puts it back on the loaf.
She looks at you and she's like, go ahead and finish eating it. I'll get you another one.
Oh, asked me if I was hungry and you handed me bread. Thought it was rude not to be on a plate or with butter or anything like that.
The bread on the table is the one meant for eating.
Oh.
The butter is exceptionally good. You should be having that.
He's dunking he's got like little hangry. So just dunking the bread in the butter, just scraping up as much as it is very delicious.
Mikey, you recognize it as goat butter.
Goat butter.
That is some funky good stuff.
Feeling funky. And the funky punch. Zermos and the funky punch.
So we each have a piece of soul bread that we can keep now in case those icky demons come back.
I have
if
one
you
in my
make the mistake of offering them your soul somehow or agreeing to it, you can give them that instead.
I mean, I'd like to say that won't happen. And after the last year or so, I kind of feel like I need to cover my bets better.
But
so many weird things have happened.
if you wish to speak to Osian,
Mm-hmm.
we may do the ritual now.
Like right now?
Well, as soon as
Okay.
you're done eating.
Well, okay.
I'm good.
Hmm.
I kind of want some bread
Now,
now.
question. Revenant.
Yeah.
There is sort of the question, and I am worried that it may come across as prejudice, but are you here to do necromancer things?
To be honest, like, I'm only here incidentally because this was on the way to our final destination, right? So, in all honesty, probably not. I might contact my death god.
You
But I'll do
may
that in the forest.
find yourself unable to do that. And I do not recommend going into the forest.
What's in the forest?
Don't go in the forest. An opportunity to see the truth.
Manifestations of your insecurities.
I'm not insecure. Yeah, I can handle
it. What is in that forest is only what you bring with you, and I promise you, what you bring with you is heavier than you think it is.
What you bring with you, and then some things that kind of bring it out of you and make it more real. It's a beautiful experience.
Yes,
but I wouldn't recommend
Ruin
it
nearly
without
died when
preparation.
she did it.
I mean, technically that's true.
Girl, you were ripped stem to stern.
It's just because I'm stubborn, though. These guys probably aren't as stubborn as I am.
Very dumb.
Okay, so is it just all of the surrounding forest, or is it a specific section of the forest that?
Did you see the forest that was dark and black and looked like a fairy tale monster was about to come out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the one.
The forest of the trials.
Wait, yeah, did you complete the trials in the forest of the trials?
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to have completed the trials.
Okay, well now this is a challenge.
Yes.
Now I have to do
it.
No, it's not. I promise you, it is not a challenge.
I too will rise to this challenge.
It is not a challenge.
I think it might be good for us to see our insecurities, get everything brought out to the table, maybe have some alone time.
I do not
Revenant.
recommend.
I challenge this challenge before me.
No, it is not a challenge.
I challenge you to complete this challenge before me.
Where's
I
this
love
focus?
you guys so much. What we should have said was, here's some candy. Go into the forest. We made it so interesting.
I need you to understand. There's no reward for going through that.
What's the reward of self-knowledge?
Wait, there's no gold?
No.
See, there's
the gold
a
of
reward
knowledge.
of knowledge.
You'll know yourself.
Ruin said there was a reward of knowledge.
Ruin, I'm going to need you to work with me on this and stop making it sound like a thing they want.
Gotcha.
No, Revenant, it's boring. They're talking about learning lessons. There's no gold.
There is no gold.
I had no illusions that there was going to be gold.
Challenges denote prizes, and they don't even have a prize.
Knowledge is a prize.
No, it's a bullshit prize. Like the prize
it's
is
like
the friends you've made along
trophy,
the way.
Basically. It's pretty much a participation trophy.
I'll be honest with you, you guys really set this up to be like this big interesting thing, and now you're telling me that I can't do it. So you know what? Fine.
Okay, I'm going to do you all a favor.
It's like when they had new
sum
Pepsi.
Up every single personal lesson that can be learned in there. You matter. Other people matter. Family matters. and suffering sucks. Those are
love
the
that
4
trope.
things you can learn there. Those are the 4 types of lessons.
Well, and
That's
local
it.
beer is best. I really feel like you can't leave that one out.
That's not something you learn in the forest. That's something you learn here.
Well, I already
Well,
knew
but
all
also
of that.
in
I
the
want a
forest, so make
prize.
sure you know for sure local beer is best.
Can I have the prerequisites. Can I have the prize now anyway?
Absolutely.
Without doing the...
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And
See,
okay,
and
she's
then
like,
grab
fine,
a fist full of
fine. Put
beer.
your head in my hand. Put your head in my hand, and I will
Yes.
let you have
Ready?
whatever it was.
Okay, I'm ready.
And you see her eyes glaze over as she touches your head.
Oh yeah, here it
And
comes.
she goes, "Your mother loved you very much, and even if he hadn't have sold his soul, your father would have never loved you."
I reveal my truths.
This is the worst prize ever.
Yeah, they suck. That's the point. You don't actually want them.
You should really
Reveal my
consider
truths.
naming
I
it
wanna
not a
know.
prize.
Yeah, I almost died for mine. So just saying, like, I think you made the right choice, Zermos.
Doctor, are you sure you want me to?
It's lame.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll come back.
Yeah, think on that one. Because everyone thinks they want to learn some great truth about themselves, and it's always disappointing and it's always simple. The only reason it feels good is because of the endorphins you get from nearly dying.
What,
already
now
feel-
I want to try it. You can nearly die doing this? Come on. It's all I've ever wanted.
You probably wouldn't die. I'm not sure it would work for you.
Oh, that sucks. Now you tell me. You hyped me up so much for this. And now you're telling me it probably wouldn't even work. Okay.
She just did the thing on me. Kind of underwhelming.
I can see why you two are friends with Ruin.
Right? They're so amazing, aren't they, Granny?
Yes, clearly. That's what I meant.
I bet they ran out of prizes, and she's just trying to cover it up right now.
No, though. I know there's some local beer. Hold on. Here. I'm going to wave someone over with some. You guys got to try this. It's so much better than the stuff we export.
Revenant, when they go to sleep, we're going to search this entire place and look for the prizes that they're hiding from us. It's here somewhere.
Wait, can they see the tapestries? I can't remember if they were here or if they're in the great hall. I'll show you the tapestries later. They are the true prize after the beer. And obviously the joy of living here, which is amazing.
Yes. The tapestries do not go outside the village.
No.
They stay inside the fort. Well, except for the one.
Right, but they're in the Great Hall, I think. So I'll take you later. So everybody weaves, like they spend all year weaving tapestries for a competition to be hung in the Great Hall. And they tell beautiful stories.
Yes.
That's one of our main treasures here.
Let's go there now.
Yeah.
Probably get the same prize that I got. The saddest news you'll ever hear.
No, not for these. You get obviously recognition because you're in the hall. And then people also will say nice things to you on the street, and people praise your tapestries and your weaving. It's a really great feeling.
Yes.
I've never won, but my sister's won a couple. She's really good at it.
Yeah, that's hers up there right now.
Which one is it?
The one of Osian's in both forms.
Yeah. That was a nice one. I like the red. I don't know how she gets that color of red.
Deliberate.
She's got some secrets that she doesn't even tell us.
She traveled.
We all do, right?
Mm-hmm. But let us go to the Tower of Nain.
Okay.
Yeah. And if y'all want to look on the little image I shared with you, you can see a little island in the center of a lake past 2 crystalline structures that divide a land bridge. 2 crows rest upon... Not crows. What did we call them, Jen? Jackdaws? Magpies. Yes.
Mm-hmm. They like sparkly things, which is why they're here.
And she sees the magpies and she goes, "How does that old rhyme go?"
Once was a woman from Nantucket
who liked to carry fish in a bucket. They smelled really bad, and that made her sad. And so she said, I guess we can just say bucket.
Okay, I'd like to imagine that you say bucket as she is narrowing her eyes at you.
I would never speak inappropriately in front of my grandmother. I did it once. That was plenty of times. She wasn't even angry. This is the level of disappointment that she looked at me with created a hole of shame that I felt I was melting into. It was like, oh, I don't want to feel that way again.
It was a gravity well of shame.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Not even light could escape.
Yeah, there's no way. Just like
What? No, this is how it goes. When you see the magpies, you can tell something about the future. 1 for sorrow, 2 for mirth, 3 for a funeral, and 4 for birth. 5 for heaven, 6 for hell, 7 for the devils, their own selves.
Hang on. It's very familiar.
Oh, did you have a variation of the rhyme?
Yeah, I can't remember how it goes in the Underdark, but it's
Oh,
something
the
similar.
Underdark version.
Yeah.
1 for
So 2 for
dread,
sorrow.
2 for mirth,
2 for
3 for dead, 4 for birth, 5 for the grinning, 6 for the brink, 7 to remember death as the beginning. Something like that, is it?
Yeah, something similar to that.
Pay attention to the magpies. Of course, that may just be an old superstition.
Well,
But-
actually, my quill, and Revenant pulls out a dead magpie, and he has like a feather that he pulls out of it, and it's like got ink on the end of it. My quill is actually from a magpie, and then he sticks it back in the dead magpie and puts it back in the portal.
Does that technically mean it counts for 3 then?
No.
Well, I mean, so there's an old deep down under tradition called sending a raven, where
Yes.
you take a dead magpie and that's where you get your quills. It's the cheapest. It's called the bush supplies, right? Because you go out in the bush and you get your supplies.
Right.
But it's already dead. You didn't kill it, right?
No, I found that if you kill a magpie, all the magpie's relatives and like the generations that like go on in the future will attack you for the rest of your life.
No, that's what I was saying. It's not a great idea to do it. So.
Make sure you touch the truth stones before you go in.
What is that?
Like you don't want to see She Who Finds the Way without being very clear in yourself.
These. Are you familiar with the spell Zone of Truth?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I believe I can actually cast it.
Well, this is a zone of truth. And touching the stones is sort of just a way of submitting to the truth. No fighting, just submission.
Who goes first?
I will. I've done it before.
All right. As you touch the stones, you may either give me a spell save throw of 20, or you may submit.
I'm just gonna submit to the truth.
Okay.
I'm getting
Would
dice for
anybody like to fight
different-
it?
What happens if I fight it?
Do
And
you want to
lose?
find out?
I mean, is it really bad if I lose?
I mean, it's Zervos.
Do you want to find out?
I want to find out.
Fucking natural one.
Can I find out? I'm gonna resist. Oh, that's an 18 plus 4.
Ruin, you touch the truth stone, and it blasts you back probably like 30 feet up in the air. No damage, but it
Hmm.
is throwing you.
Can
Well,
I
Zermos,
try
did
to
you want
tumble
to? Did you
down?
want to? Did you want to resist it?
I did. I rolled a natural one.
It does the same thing to you.
Why does it blow me back? I wasn't resisting
It
it.
does. It didn't blow you back.
Oh, okay. Blew Revenant back.
It blew Revenant and Zermos back,
Oh,
It
okay.
blew me back.
and
Yeah,
your grandmother kind of like blinks her eyes and looks back at them.
They're
Can-
fine.
Can we?
I
really-
love them. They're
Can
great.
you trust them?
Very much so. Yes.
I was gonna tell the truth regardless. I just wanted to see what would happen if I tried resisting the magics of the Truth Stone.
That's the facts.
I
They're just very experimental and
You're a
self-determined.
scientist, aren't you?
Well, I'm more of like a cult medic, but like a medic scientist.
Okay.
I just didn't know what would happen if I know now.
Would you like to try again?
Sure.
Mm.
Yep. One more again. Ugh.
Okay. Are you guys going to try to resist this time?
No, I landed on my tail.
Oh
Okay.
no.
And you are able to pass there, and you are able to go down into the land bridge. Osian's sepulchre. What's the word?
Sepulcher.
Sepulchre. Is that the word?
Like a tomb?
Is in the basement. The
Mm-hmm.
well is on the roof. We need to be in the basement for this. And she follows you. She doesn't follow. She leads you down this spiraling, tight stone corridor staircase. It is very unadorned. It is natural stone of the area. And it's tight and cramped. Zermos, you have to kind of tilt your head to keep your antlers from getting stuck.
Way ahead of you. And then I turn into a little snake.
Okay. Is anybody
How's it-
going to carry the snake?
Yeah, I'll carry Zermos. You can hang out with Scraps.
So now he's like his body's inside of Scraps' rib cage. And then he's just got his head poking out of Scraps' open.
Are you
No.
gonna rest your little head on his little Scraps' bony shoulder, like?
No, he's in the skeleton.
Uh-huh.
Like it's over the top of him. Like he's up inside of Scraps, just chilling.
Okay.
As
Looking
you
out
hear
of the open
Scraps
mouth.
go, squeak.
That's so awesome.
No, resisting is not a good idea. Slap me across the room. You don't have guts in here. Calm down.
Squeak. And y'all guys get down to the basement level. And it is dark. And the only thing that's lighting this room is, in fact, Shales. Is that how we pronounce her name?
Shayla.
Shayla's staff. It's glowing. And there is a central coffin. Let us begin. And she takes the horse head off the staff, unlashes it, and sets it on the coffin lid. And she sets a candle in the right eye, sets it straight up. And she takes a match. This is going to be uncomfortable, but tradition and magic demand it be done this way. And Ruin, she lights it on the end of your nose.
Mm.
And she lights one of the wicks on the candle. And she takes another match and she lights it on your forehead. And she lights another one of the wicks. Hold out your right hand.
Mm.
And she lights it on the end of your palm, or in the center of your palm, and lights the final wick of the candle. And you see, even with your dark vision, you other two, everything goes dark. The rest of the basement is no longer there in your eyes, and it's only the coffin and the candle, and not even the horse skull. And you hear voices speak. A wave of voices, all speaking as one. And they say, "What will you give us to make the connection for you?"
What do you want?
What will you give? And Shayla says, "I will give a lock of hair." And she takes a knife and she cuts through a braid and throws it on the flames of the candle where it is burned. "This is acceptable. What will you all give?"
Revenant takes off his glove. "We'll give you a claw," and he cuts one of his claws off,
Mm.
and like he gets like the bit of claw and he hands it.
"Put it on the flame."
He puts on the flame, and then he puts his glove back on over his
And
bony hand.
the voices say, "This is acceptable. What will the rest of you give?"
Zermos kind of looks around. He doesn't really have anything. Then he just slowly looks up. "Oh, I'm gonna regret this." And then he kind of breaks off one of the points off his antlers. And then he realizes that it's uneven now, so then he breaks off one on the other side so that it fits. "I offer these."
"Your prongs are accepted." And they burn up in the flame. "Warrior of Osian's blood, what will you give?"
That's a good question. I will give this lock and also one of my stakes.
Okay. When you go and you put the lock in, before you can even give out the stake, they say, "Your offering is accepted.
Oh, phew.
We bring unto you Osian. Osian, come down from that great mead hall in the sky and speak to those who would hear your wisdom." And a blue spectral form appears in front of you, sort of sitting on the coffin. And it's this large, towering, muscular figure with a sly smile. And if it weren't for the fact that the spirit was blue, you would swear that he would have just red hair, a red beard. And as you look at him, he switches back and forth between a man and a woman. And the man carries a large sword, and the woman carries a staff. "Well, hello there. This
Great
isn't the usual
grandpappy.
time. And you must be Ruin, aren't you?"
Mm-hmm.
Shayla raised you right, did she?
I mean, she certainly raised me. It's other people's opinion whether that was right or not. I certainly liked it.
Oh, you, yeah, you are definitely one of my blood.
Just because we like mischief, I'm sure of it.
Mm.
These are my good friends, Zermos and Revenant. You obviously know Grandma Shayla.
Yes, yes. It's not usual for outsiders to be brought in for the ritual, but then again, it's not usual for the ritual to be formed this time of year.
These are
Spirits
true
didn't,
facts.
the spirits didn't demand too high a price this time, did they?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'll tell you this. Uh, be careful with them. They can be more demanding sometimes than others. You may have gotten lucky today.
Well, our motivation for talking to you is actually very important.
Yes, go on.
I'm gonna jump to that. So the God King of Brass
And you
fame,
see his pipe snaps in his hand. And he
i.e.,
drops
your
it.
child, is wreaking havoc in a bad way across the entire country, and we need to stop him.
Good luck with that.
We need your help.
No, you don't.
Do you have any advice? Like,
you can't run from your responsibility here, Grandpappy.
Run from my responsibility. I didn't make that thing.
No, but you were part of what created it, and we need your help to stop it. Without you, we may not be able to. Lucinda's brain is gone. She can't help us.
We're slowly but surely running out of options.
The entire world is going to be consumed by Brassfane and your creation's insanity.
And he stands. You want my help with this?
Yes.
Then you're going to have to earn it. And he raises his sword high as he looks at you all fiercely. And you see flames and lightning crackle up around him. And lightning shoots down from the infinite void, going upon the sword, where it transforms. And you see him leisurely holding a golf club, and he puts it down, and he puts a tam o' shanter on his head, and he says, well, let's hit the links then. You're going to have to earn it.
Last we left our heroes, we landed in Fort Delubray.
Fort Delubray.
Huh?
Delubray is the name of people from the town. Fort Lubray is the name of the town.
Yes. I've been saying it wrong too. But I'm glad you made that correction.
So we landed on the fort. Even though it took us 45 minutes to find a good parking spot that was reserved for us. We landed our ship. It was hidden by brush and brambles with a tent endoskeleton. Then we decided to walk over and get some of the hall. We walked over to the hall where they were baking all the stuff, and they gave us soul bread, which we can use to ward off any demons that should want our souls or ask to bargain for our souls. I'm sure it'll be relevant. Zermos kind of ate a little bit of his, but he got another one. Then we decided to go chat up our old buddy Osian. See what's popping off on his neck of the woods, just to find out that he said that he can't help us, and he won't help us unless we do battle with him on the greens in a game of rousing golf. So we're about to go golf the shit out of this dude.
You're missing the big chunk of time we wasted on Mikey and I saying, can we do the trials? And Aisel and Jonathan saying, no, you can't do the trials.
Don't worry,
no one's going to stop you from doing the trials, but they're a bad idea.
We're going to do the trials later. I have an idea.
Oh, Mikey.
Oh, no, Revenant's going to do it on the way back. Don't worry.
What was the great wisdom that Shayla unlocked from your mind?
That my mother loved me and my dad would never love me no matter how hard I tried.
Yes. Kind of made you feel bad, didn't it?
I already knew that.
Yep.
That's what I said. These prizes are stupid.
Yep. And your father wouldn't have loved you even if he hadn't have sold his soul.
Should I have revealed Revenant's deep truth?
Maybe.
Bonus content.
So we are in the basement, and the form of Osian solidifies, becomes less blue, but still with that blue glow as he becomes almost like a mortal man, and the room comes back into view. And he hoists his clubs on his back and starts walking up the stairs.
Must have an early tea time.
Let's go skin this pig or whatever.
Yes, skin the pig, as they say in Fort Lubre. Let the skin fall where they pig. I don't know.
What's the saying? You can skin a pig to water, but you can't make it drink.
Okay, and
a pig in skin is worth 9.
He stops off at the oven hall and like walks to where the casks of ale are being kept and goes over to take a look at the different ones, and he gets a little stein, and he like samples each one, and then he stops at one and he samples it again. It's a nice dark rich one, and he goes and nods, and he grabs one of the casks from the same batch behind it and just lifts it overhead and starts walking out with it.
Nice. Is that just for you, Grandpappy, or do you sharing?
Sharing.
All right, cool. We don't need to get around.
Pick one out. I mean, there's plenty.
Revenant,
looks like a really good harvest.
Revenant tries all of them.
Okay, there's like this little fruity sour thing that's pretty good. There's a dark,
Is it like,
rich,
one
velvety.
of those German like citrus beers.
Yeah. There's
one,
this.
That one.
Okay, you're not even trying that. It's like, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to agree with you. Sours are kind of the best.
Yeah. He's like, oh, Revenant
takes like, a cask and puts over his shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, that'll just that'll counteract. That'll really work with the stout I'm bringing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm quite a fan of it.
Are we still in the oven hall?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I take some pine nuts and roast them and put them back in the satchel so we can have some snacks later?
Do you want to take the time it takes to roast pine nuts?
How long does it take?
I don't know.
I think this is a magic pine nut fire combination where it's like not long at all.
Yeah, like the fire just has to touch them and they're roasted.
Yeah, I just want them a light smoking, you know.
Mikey, roll for magic bullshit.
Yes.
Magic bullshit.
5 to 10 minutes.
That's a natural one.
Mikey, you go to put your pine nuts back there, and they explode into like popcorn kernels almost.
Oh, damn it!
like you and Osian's walking by, and he's like, "Oh, sweet, bang grains," and he grabs them and shoves them in his mouth.
Well, that worked out a lot better in my head. I didn't think of a way to retrieve them after I put them in.
Aren't you a tiefling? You're fireproof, huh? Well, you're not fireproof, but you're fire resistant. Can't you just like stick your hands in there?
It hurts less, but it still hurts.
Well, I could stick my hands in there. I don't have any flesh on my hands.
Yes, but I also don't want to eat things that have been popped in your hands.
Also, Osian ate all of them.
Oh, damn it. There's just one pine seed left in his little pouch, and it's got a little bit of lint all over it. It just blows it off and just pops in his mouth and just calls it a day. Whatever.
Okay. And Osian looks at Shayla and says, "Well, are the greens where they've always been?" And Shayla nods, and she goes, I think Willem has been taking care of them with everyone else off shepherding. It's good. The grounds basically maintain themselves. Be fine.
When we arrive at the grounds, can I make a nature check? I need to find like a waist-high bush.
Okay. You are approaching the greens, and you get to the first hole. And Mikey, roll me a bush finding check.
Come on.
Nature check.
There's no fucking way. Natural 1.
Don't you get an assist though? Advantage?
Can I have advantage on nature checks?
Do you want to use your inspiration for it? Because I think I gave
yes,
one
Yeah,
away.
his
yes.
inspiration? Yes, okay. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'll use mine too.
No, you don't get to give inspirations.
Oh, thank you, fucking Jesus! Better than a fucking 1. God, 3 1s in a row.
You
Damn.
might have to break that die like in front of the other dice.
You might need to do some
It's like
dice
when I rolled.
fishing.
It's like when I rolled 4 1s during combat.
Oh my God, we almost lost that.
Almost
so
bit
that's an 18. I got 13 plus 5.
Okay, you do in fact find a waist-high bush. You find several waist-high bushes.
Revenant, come here for a second. I'm going to use the leaves of this certain kind of bush and kind of use plant growth to make us some like golfing clothes, so we can have a little hat. If we need to make like a little sweater vest combo out of some vines, like this is a very useful bush. That's why I was trying to find it, so I could just like whip us up some golf attire and a
Tell you what.
bush.
We've already established that Revenant has Clothes Beam as a cantrip.
Oh, yeah.
If y'all just want to work together and fashion some accessories.
I mean, Ruin's good, right? Ruin can just like doop in her head, and then boom, she's got exactly like a little
And
pom
spin
pom
around,
hat.
and I've got like the coolest golfing clothes. They're all very appropriate, but they're sparkly and purple.
And I'm just kind of like looking over, using you as inspiration. Like, yes, grow this way. Maybe another twig. How is she doing that
sits
scene?
down on a stump and finds another pipe in his vest and just, lights up. Waits for y'all.
I hand him another pipe that I grew out of that same. But this is very useful.
He takes it, nods.
They call it femp.
Mm.
Fantasy hemp.
Yes.
And I make clothes for all of us.
All right. You succeed at making clothes.
We look damn good.
We needed that.
With 18.
Part of golf is the clothing.
Right.
Mm.
His glutes are looking fantastic in his new hemp pants.
Yep.
People are looking.
So it'll be 8 rounds. There'll be 8 holes, I should say. And your goal is the same as in regular golf, which is to get there in fewer strokes than your magically imbued ancestor, who was a living legend.
8 rounds, you said?
8 holes.
That's not a full course.
It's different in fantasy.
That's fine. I just want to make sure.
We already know.
It's Osian, what say we make this a bit interesting?
I thought it was already interesting.
I mean, you're kind of this spiritual presence, and we are just these corporeal forms.
Speak for yourself, mate.
Enough out of you. Now, we will use the standard ball, but perhaps with your incredible skill, you might even be able to beat us with this. And he holds out a pine cone. If you're
he laughs
had
and
much
he says,
more practice than us, this should be easy for you.
He laughs and he says, I thought her caddy was going to make it a lot more fair. And he points behind you.
I turn around.
There is Silent Peter on the other stump in golfing attire, holding a bag of clubs.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh.
He tips his hat.
Do they all look like the dog skull staff? Like all the clubs have dog skull heads?
They actually look like traditional hickory, not hickory, because hickory. Well, no, what? This world it's hickory rather than ash.
So wait, I just want to know, are we all playing golf against you, or is it just one of us?
Oh, yeah.
Just you.
Oh.
Just me.
Yes. But let's make it interesting. You two look like some magic bullshit people, yeah?
I'm fairly magic bullshit.
Zermos is turning around in circles. He has no idea who he could be referring to.
Yeah, that does seem surprising. But
magic
your point?
Forest person and death person.
Guilty.
Okay. You two may use whatever magic bullshit you want to help Ruin. How's that sound?
Ruin likes that.
Yeah.
Going to make it fair.
She doesn't like how confident you are that that's okay, but that's fine.
Zermos' eyes go wide like,
hey,
we won't have to help.
part of golf is the conversation. So I hope we will have a good time, even if it is high stakes.
Yeah,
For-
mix a sign. You're gonna really regret saying I'm allowed to use my magic bullshit or get a bunch of spells to help ruin out.
No attacking me. Just look.
I wasn't gonna attack you. You look crazy strong. You got like what, a legendary sword and a legendary staff? What am I gonna do?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Well, I wouldn't imagine us trying anything underhanded. Oh, where is it? I have guidance somewhere. I'm just gonna give my friend Rune here a friendly pat on the back. And I cast guidance.
He said, I don't know why you feel the need to hide that. I already said you can do magic bullshit. It doesn't
Whatever
bother
do
me.
you mean, sir? Whatever do you mean?
You understand, like, I'm not just this big hulking brute, right?
So,
And he shifts into a woman, and she says to you, I was also quite the sorceress.
I don't doubt it, but that was merely just a salutary Adam. Good golfing, Ruin.
Lie if it makes you feel better, dear.
It does.
And she shifts into a man.
Revenant casts enhance ability and gives Ruin bull strength, which gives her advantage on all strength checks.
About to be driving it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have advantage on like carrying capacity. Your carrying capacity doubles, which like who cares? Because we don't play with weight limits. But yeah. So you
We
have
don't play with
advantage.
weight limits. You guys were just supposed to be keeping track of that on your own.
I mean, we have a portable hole.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
So and that's concentration up to an hour, but I also cast Bless, which do I cast Bless?
Do you
Yes.
cast Bless?
Which gives you a D4 to every attack roll or saving throw for the remainder of concentration, and I take out my crystal brain.
Question, does that interfere with my guidance?
No.
What does guidance do?
A D4.
That all
Also a
stacks.
D4?
So
That all
there's a
stacks.
D4, and advantage on strength check.
I also cast Thaumaturgy. I know you hate it, Jonathan, but I just want to put a streak on her ball.
Like a little guiding streak where like you can see.
Just so she can see where the
up.
ball goes. So it looks like it's like on fire.
Okay, so
Like a little
you get.
fireball.
I'm gonna give you advantage on spotting your ball if you ever lose it.
Okay. Ball.
It's not that I hate thaumaturgy, Mike.
Wait. So Rune can find her ball whenever she needs to.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
ball.
In case you
Just
go-
ball.
Not everybody has more than one. It's just I think I'm in my head I'm thinking Ruin's going up there like Mario Golf, and she's got like the super shot so she can make it like into like this ice rainbow thing, or if it wants to be like a fireball.
Wait, can other people see it too? Like when I hit
Yeah.
it, does it? I am so gonna
Like the
try
little-
to get
like the
things in,
trail.
but also look cool.
Mhm.
Yes.
Did you make it purple and sparkly like my outfit?
And I also cast Flame Blade on Ruin. I will be the one playing golf today.
What does that mean?
And then I
He
stab
joked about killing
Ruin
you.
in
Oh,
the
okay.
chest.
And then I cast inflict wounds on Shermos because I will be the one playing golf today.
And Silent Peter slaps
Oh,
all of you and makes you knock it off.
Oh God, I forgot it was there. I'm so sorry. It was a
It's
joke.
so quiet.
It was a joke.
You forget.
He slaps us
Silent.
outside of the game. Oh my god.
And then, hey, Revenant, here, take this. And I use my quill that I got from the, my paintbrush that I got from the Bristlecone grandfather. And I make 2 signs, and then I hand one over to Revenant, and it says silent. And we're just going to follow them around. Just,
Yes.
and then we drop them, so they can drive properly.
Like it?
Ruin Osian looks at you and says, well, are you buffed? You feel
No.
confident then?
Oh, well, no, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
That's the attitude you need to have. I'll let you take first crack at it if you want.
Is that an advantage?
No,
Yes.
it just means you go first.
Okay.
He's
All
being
right, I'm
polite.
ready. Okay. I love it. All right, so I'll like wind up. Right, ready.
Okay. Yes, Silent Peter has handed you your driver.
Natural 20.
So we don't normally roll to confirm crits, but roll again.
Roll again. Okay.
And
Wait.
if you get anything but a 1, I'm going to give you something good.
I got a 6.
That's fine. That's fine.
I mean,
Tell you what.
Put I guess all my points in the first roll.
Roll Dex for me, actually.
Roll Dex. Okay.
Natural 100.
Well, I got a 16 plus 2, 18.
You get a hole in 1.
Too much metal for one hand.
I paint up 2 news signs, and it's like those like in anime where like the 2 people are on the sideline doing this stuff with the little signs. We're just cheering her on.
And he nods and goes, very nice. Very nice. That's what I like to see. And he...
Being so positive. This is nervous making.
He gets it on the green. Very close. And he nods. And he starts walking over. Now, you 3 are free to talk to him while he plays.
Mixo-Sion, would you like a swig of this silverbone rock gut? I don't know if you've
He
had
takes it from you and he downs it and hands it back to you.
Oh, that was
Could
a
you
mistake.
do that when you were alive? Because that stuff put me out.
There's an enchantment. I don't think, because we've established this behind the scenes way back in the beginning of the campaign, Jonathan. There's an enchantment on this flask that just refills with rock gut, I think, right?
Oh, in that case, he holds it for a good entire time he's walking to that ball, and then he hands it back to you.
No, seriously, could you drink this stuff when you were alive? Because it
Probably
knocked me flat.
It's not even possible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I thought I was a heavy drinker.
Well,
yeah, where'd you get that constitution?
That would have put a god's kidneys in failure.
It's true.
Born in a pretty rough situation. You either had a high natural strength and constitution, or you died. And he putts really quick. Sinks it perfectly. Perfect level precision. Doesn't even bounce off the flag. He didn't even bother taking it out. It just tink right in there.
Not bad.
I'm concerned.
No, not bad.
When's the last time that you played?
Oh, I play all day. That or battle in the great battlefields in the sky, and drink in the great mead hall, and try not to tell the god what a prick he is, but oh well.
So what is your day-to-day like? Like, do you just kind of appear?
I do whatever I want.
So it's almost like retirement.
Sort of.
You get
like
to hang out with
retirement.
You get to hang out with the buds. You hit the links. Have a bit of meat.
A lot of my descendants make it up there, so always have family to be around, that sort of thing.
Speaking of family, can you tell us anything that you think would be beneficial about him?
Well, for starters, I don't know why you're calling it a child. It's an abomination.
That's what Lucinda called it.
Yeah, Miss Sidoline, I believe, called it a child.
We're just going by how she introduced it to us.
How old is she now?
What year is it?
50? I think she's 150 something.
I think she's older than that. I think she'd have to be pushing 300.
Oh.
Doesn't look a day over 199.
Exactly.
Well, as people get older, sometimes they lose words and they find substitutions.
Yeah, she's kind of taken this maternal nature about this whole situation.
That's actually
Hey.
that's actually the whole reason why we're here in Lubri in the first place. Anyways, we're going on a mission to the Green Dragon Library.
And he looks at you all. Green Dragon Library, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Was the dragon there when you were alive?
Oh, he was there. And he raises up his shirt, and you see a gash from his left side all the way to his right side going up his rib cage, like an old scar that never healed properly.
You have remarkably small nipples.
I'm glad that's what
That
you noticed,
is-
Thermos.
A weird thing to say.
I wasn't even looking. Now
I'm so
like,
jealous.
Wow.
What about you? You got like what, dinner plate nipples there or something?
I have
Well,
ghost
I mean-
nipples.
I don't want to talk about it.
And you guys get to the next hole. He's like, Ruin, would you like to go first?
Obviously, I want something to change the conversation right now.
I do too.
I still have advantage. I'm in 2d4s.
So I get to roll twice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the first roll was better. I got a 7, and then I get to add d4 to it.
2d4s.
2d4.
I like this. I like this.
Good luck getting
So
a
could it be
d4 out of your
8?
dice set. No.
No, it
I
would
know
be
it
better to
meant
be
to.
2d4s because then you could get like.
Better. I know.
Statistically, it's easier,
Got a 2
Yeah.
and another 2, so that's 11 plus what I actually get. What roll am I rolling?
Strength.
Okay, I'm just double checking. Oh, and then I get
When
another
you're
plus.
driving, it's strength. When you're putting, it's dex. And when you're using the wedge, it's con.
yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Drive,
Nice mechanic.
strength. You're probably going to say that again. Well, I have a 10 plus 7 is a 17.
Okay. Nice.
And that's everything I get to do.
Okay. And Osian hits next. And you land on the green, by the way.
Oh, good.
Oh, is this a par 3? That's what I meant to ask
Oh,
last
sorry.
hole.
Rolled up. Down. And Osian lands on the green, but behind you. And per golf rules, he goes again. Still driving.
Why don't I get to keep going?
He's on the.
Because the
he's
person furthest away goes.
Yeah.
Right.
And he lands. I'm sorry. You originally landed on the fairway. Now he lands on the green.
She's on the fairway.
You're on the fairway.
thought I was
It
on
is
the
your
green.
turn.
I'm not on the
I,
green.
I misspoke. You're on the fairway.
This is a par 4, not a par 3.
So am I driving, putting, or the one that's Constitution?
Driving.
Silent Peter is handing you the driver.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. So that
There
means
we
I get
go.
to roll twice. Okay, and then I add 1,
I'm invested in this.
4, so 29.
Oh.
Roll me dex.
Roll in. Roll in.
Roll in. What does that mean? 13.
Okay. It gets close, but it doesn't get in.
Ah.
You sure you don't want me to roll like acrobatics?
Acrobatic
And
balling.
Osian.
Achoo! I accidentally sneezed while he was putting.
Nice.
I have really bad allergies for a druid. The druid with the
He
allergies.
sinks it.
Good
You
shot.
got 3.
So you gotta
Ruin?
sink this one.
You're going to putt.
Okay.
That's plus dex.
Oh, I forgot to add with my dexes the bless and guidance, but I'll do that this time.
Mr. Osian, I can use whatever magic bullshit I want, right?
Yes. So I'm
Revan-
starting to think she doesn't need it.
Right. She's
I
crushing
got
it.
a 16 for my dex.
You get it in. And that's 3. And Osian gives you a pat on the back as he walks by, and he pulls your ball out and tosses it to you. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you.
I hand Revenant a kazoo. And we
I'm
have the
sorry.
victory song.
Surreptitiously, I'm not really great at this, so I don't know if I need to role play. I want one of you to check the ball and make sure it doesn't look interfered with.
Your ball?
Mm-hmm. I trust my grandpa, but
Oh, his ball. I can't touch his ball.
No, he picked my ball up and threw it at me.
Oh, he touched the ball. I hand
He
you a different
did.
ball. I hand you a different ball, but I don't let him see it. I pocket the touched ball.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be super. Just I don't know.
We gotta win this.
Well, maybe he interfered with it in a positive way, and he wants to help me, and maybe he didn't at all. I'm just saying. I think we should double check.
I'm
How
saying this
far
might be a
away
double,
is-
triple cross.
How far away is the hole?
We're on hole
Are
3
you asking
now.
me to use numbers to describe it? This is a par 5 hole. Let's go with that.
That's 2 drives and a putt.
Mhm.
I like Mario
Great.
Golf a
So
lot.
I'm just wondering because of spell distance.
Oh, like how many yards? A
Tell
par
me how long you need.
60.
It
Oh.
is much further than that. It is
Yeah.
much further than that.
Maybe if she gets in the sand trap or something, use that
You
because
typically talk like what? 500 feet minimum for a hole? Is that it?
Revenant's
For
gonna
like a-
start walking, and he's gonna cast spiritual weapon, and he's gonna create a net, and he's just gonna keep walking.
Oh, he's got a net like in front of where Osian's ball would go.
Yeah.
Just-
I like
And
that
Osian looks at it and he goes, "Oh, you little fucker," and he rolls.
You said all can use
up-
that amazing bullshit I want.
He rolls up his sleeves all the way up. And you see he raises the putter high and lightning strikes it again. And his biceps grow to like 3
Okay.
times their
oh
size.
God, he's like
Yeah,
Master
fucking God.
Roshi.
And
What have you done?
Revenant, what's your spell difficulty? Your spell save DC?
15.
We'll call. Revenant, you see the net stretch out until it pops and it goes right through it, like the little, and the ball continues.
Jesus Christ.
You know, I almost thought about turning into some sort of flying animal, because that's magical, right? And then, like, grabbing the ball midair. Your net has just let me know how bad of a decision that would have been.
Yeah, you would have been decapitated, mate.
He would have just went straight through my chest with that ball.
Yeah.
And he yells, "No interfering with the course!"
Mm.
Oh God.
You can make
And
all
also,
of the balls look like clown noses.
I want you to know that he basically went the length that 2 strokes would have taken him.
I wish I had something to like grow mushrooms up to make it look like the ball. Just a little round mushroom that pops out. There's like 6 balls in a line.
Mm.
And he looks at you. I'm sorry, I didn't offer you the chance to go first, but I figured that challenge was for me.
I agree. All right.
They
Wow,
care
that's
about you, do
bad.
they?
They do. They're good friends.
Glad to hear it.
23.
Okay. You get just a little bit behind him.
Oh, so
You
I
get to go
in?
again. You get to walk. And he's walking with you to your ball. If you want to talk to him any, you're more than welcome to.
Natural 20. Mm-mm-mm.
Roll me dex.
This time I will remember.
I wanna deck you up.
11.
Okay, it doesn't quite make it in, but it gets pretty close. So, sign.
Like they were playing battle golf.
Osian gets not far behind you. He's still on the fairway. You are on the fairway and basically have a chip shot.
We translate, Zermos.
So what he's saying is, it's too far to putt. and the grass is too thick here, so you'll have to use your other. Here, Silent Peter, let me see that wedge. Thank you. You're going to use
So
this.
This is the one I use Constitution for?
Yes. So what you want to do is put a nice arc on the ball and have it roll right into the cup.
Okay. I'll totally do that. Oh, I might.
This might be in spell range for Revenant.
25. I got 25.
Never mind, I didn't say
You
anything.
sink it right in there with that chip shot. And it's a chip shot for Silent Peter as well. And he looks at it and goes, yeah, still masculine. And he and misses just a little bit, and goes up with his putter and sinks it right in. But you notice when he switches over to the putter, he switches over to his feminine form.
I bet she's got better decks.
More agile.
We're
She
on hole
stays
4 now, right?
in her feminine form and continues walking with you. So, how long you been traveling with them?
About a year. I mean, Zermos went away for a little while to study his craft. But
That's yeah, it's hard when party members have to do that. I know I went through it a number of times. I did it a number of times.
Cut to a scene. Cut to a picture of Zermos just running away in the wrong direction because a bee is like stuck in his antlers, and he's just like freaking out. And he's just running, screaming down the fucking fairway.
Wait, come back. Hold on, let me get the bee.
It's
Let me
touching me. It's
Revenant cast
touching
chill
me.
touch on the bee.
No,
Silly
don't kill
never
it.
see you. And in your feminine form.
Sorry?
Did Sidley never see you in your feminine form?
All the time. All the time.
She kept calling me Osian, and that makes more sense now.
Yeah. I started doing this from an early age.
It's cool.
Yeah. It was the
Why
first
do you
magical
ask?
item I found.
Why do you ask? How long we traveled together?
Oh, just making conversation. That's the point of golf, isn't it? You think people travel around and like think, oh, I got to get this ball in a hole. That is super important. No, it's about the conversation. It's about being outdoors. It's about enjoying each other's company. And maybe showing off a little bit.
Zermos walks up very pouty, and his face is a little bit swollen because the bee got him.
Oh, there's a bee right now getting you?
Yeah, I already got. I zigged when I should have zagged. I tried to not disturb it, and I was trying to talk to it, but it was so angry.
He might have swallowed the bee.
It was so angry.
I told you not to scream at the bee.
There was no calming it down. I had to raise my voice.
Yeah, and it flew in his mouth.
Do you have? I think we have some
Very
medicine
unfortunate.
that we can put on your bite so it doesn't feel bad.
I have an idea.
It's a sting, actually, not a bite.
Revenant, give me that. Give me some of that rat gut.
All
Oh,
right.
that's not a good idea. No.
No, this is totally gonna work. And then he takes a sip and kind of like swirls it around in his mouth and goes to spit it out and swallows a little bit of it. And I think he's fucked up.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
And
my goodness.
Osian offers you the first stroke on hole 4.
All right. I'm ready for it. Is Zermo still standing?
Par 3.
I got another natural 20.
Roll dex.
I won a 20 for Dex this time, though. Thank you for all the bad luck you had, Mikey. I think I got some of the good luck because of it.
You're welcome.
24.
Another hole in 1 for Ruin. And Osian goes. And also gets a hole in 1.
Well, that's great. I love it when you do well.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well too.
I need
So
to.
how come you're not trying to chat me up and get information out of me that I already promised I would give you if you won, just in case you lose?
I'm
You're that confident.
trying.
Sorry?
No, I've been trying.
Oh,
That are supposed to help.
yeah, you're not. Then you none of you are very good at that, are you?
No.
No, they're very good at it. They're
Well,
super great.
I mean, there is some information I want to pump from you.
Yeah, where did you get your killer bees?
Moving on.
That's
That
off
is
topic, Zermos.
one question. Yeah, actually, where did you get the bees?
No, that's off topic.
The bees aren't mine. The bees are just here. There are
Okay.
flowers over there, and
I want to
Also,
stop God King.
how do you switch back and forth? Because like for me, like I just took a potion and then like I was like stuck forever the other way.
But also
Oh,
off
well,
topic.
and he brings back his vest, and you see a belt that is on his waist, and it's this belt that one half of it looks like a very wide leather utility belt, and the other tapers down and becomes this skinny, almost fashion belt sort of thing. And he's like, "It works."
What is that?
Hey,
This,
that's
my
almost
friend.
like your magical armor, except for gender. That's pretty cool.
Well, the thing is, her magical armor is a glamour. This just changes me.
Hmm.
And if you're wondering which is the original, I'll never tell.
I don't want to know that.
It's
Good.
not important.
So, next hole then.
Well, 5. What's the score?
I think you're ahead
You're
of
ahead of me by 2. Or
That's not
beneath
much.
me by 2, I should say.
Well,
Child, I am a borderline demigod. You are very skilled to be beating me by this much.
well, 2 plus 28.
Re-
And for the record, the entire town is watching you now.
No pressure. 28.
Like, as you come up, the entire town has come up, and like a few shepherds have brought their flocks because they didn't want to be, stuck out there with their fields while there was something this interesting going on.
I hold up my
Somebody
beer.
is
Hey, everybody.
passing up here. They cheer
Cheers.
for you.
And then while they're in their enthusiastic cheering, Zermos holds up the silent sign and points.
And a rock gets thrown through your sign.
Hey, who threw that?
Zermos, my people are as stubborn as you and Revenant and I am. So just,
Get your
What
sign
do-
out of the way, dickhead.
Damn it, Revenant! Why are you throwing rocks at me?
You feel a pine cone hit you on the side of the head. It's not just rocks.
Someone throws a paper airplane at him, and he opens it up. It says Zermos sucks.
Osian
just
looks at
mean.
you, Ruin, and says, "Well, how well do you perform in front of a crowd, lass?"
Well, I mean, it's kind of my job. I'm fine with this. And I'll do a backflip.
I'm guessing some sort of acrobat then?
Circus performer, mercenary,
Ah,
and granddaughter of Shayla. Like, I gotta be able to handle it.
mhm. Physical arts weren't much of Shayla's things. You're talking about getting away from her, aren't you?
No, more just there's a lot of attention, and you gotta learn how to work with that. You're Shayla's granddaughter.
Oh, you lie the exact same way she does. It's a I miss it.
Why do you assume I'm lying? Oh my gosh, everybody's so suspicious all the time.
It's the smile, love.
Oh, it's fine.
Quietly, Zermos walks over. He's made a dome. He's found another bush, and he's made a dome out of branches to cover him so that he can hold up his sign without being attacked.
So there's a little dome with a little sign that says,
He's got his arm sticking out of it.
cheers for Zermos.
All right. We don't cheer the help.
Oh,
And he
you can
pats
call
you
it
on the
help.
back. He pats you on the back and has a big laugh about it.
I'm uncomfortable with this. It's fine. Let's
Oh,
do
it's
a
like,
whole 5.
Ruin, I was being funny. I absolutely did not mean that. No.
Well, I mean, he is a noble person, so it's kind of good for him to feel like the help every once in a while.
Oh, in that
But
case,
also, he's
you
my friend
get
and
back
an
to
honored
work.
guest. So
As soon as he hears the footsteps approaching, he drops the sign and sinks his hand into his little shell.
All right. Ruin, he gestures to your ball.
I get a 28.
Okay. Roll me dex.
Like it. 24.
That is a hole in one.
Dome out,
Osian
sign
looks at that
out.
and goes, "Ha!" And the crowd just roars in applause.
I'm going to do a backflip.
There's more applause. And someone's pointing and going, "That's my cousin. That's my cousin."
Hey, guys.
And somebody else says,
Woo!
I mean, "That's my cousin too. You don't see me
Raise
getting
the
weird
roof.
about it."
Raise the roof.
That's
Everyone-
like, she's like everyone's cousin here.
A whole bunch of people pull out some scrolls and start drawing what's happening while it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
They're making reference sketches for their next tapestries. Okay. And Osian takes 2 shots to get it in.
The goodnesses.
Huh. And he taps his foot and he goes, okay, I'm going to resist the temptation to do some magical bullshit of my own. That wouldn't be fair to you at this point. You're winning fair and square, and I'm allowing it.
It's a gentlemanly approach. Love your sense of honor. You know, stick to the rules that you set.
Are you implying that we helped her in some way?
And he just walks away from you to the next hole.
Revenant ends
Don't push his
bless,
buttons.
and then
He doesn't know.
casts Bane on Osian.
But Bane?
Bane.
No, he said don't attack him. Don't break
It's
the
an
rules.
attack. That's a debuff. What it does is whenever a target makes whenever a target that fails a saving throw makes an attack or saving throw before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack roll or saving throw.
So that won't help you. This is a skill check. Like, this is a series of skills check challenges. This would be useful if you were trying to kill him.
Let's not try to kill him now.
We'll say that Revenant's useful. Revenant is intelligent enough to realize this, though.
All right.
He fails his constitution and gets so sick. Just gets like a screaming migraine.
Yep. So, hole 6.
Okay.
Par 5.
Okay.
You
Ready?
get to go first.
First one was better. And then we add. Ooh.
D4, here we go. D4.
27.
Roll me dex.
Thank you for blessing and guidance. Ah! 25.
Okay. It's a longer hole, so it's not a hole in one. But you land on the green.
I like it.
It's a monster drive.
Osian is on the fairway. Not far behind you, but still behind you.
Okay.
And he goes again and lands on the green. It is your turn.
Okay. I'm still driving, yes?
No,
Putting.
no, you're on the green now.
I'm putting.
Mhm.
Putting.
Okay. I don't like putting as much. That's fine. I did it right.
There's a slight bang from right to left.
25, 27.
Didn't quite
27.
catch that, Ruin. What'd you say?
27.
For putting?
Uh-huh.
That's Dex.
Mm-hmm. I rolled a 19 plus my 2 bonuses and then my normal bonus.
Okay, you sink it. That's 2.
I like it.
Osian's
Nice
behind you.
eagle.
And gets it in with 3.
Hmm.
Oh no, wait. She
All
got
right.
a
I got 2.
He got an eagle. She got something ridiculous
Oh.
bullshit.
an albatross. That's what it is.
Is that seriously what it's called?
Yeah, if you get 2 shots on a par 5, that's a albatross.
Dang.
It's the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner meets golf.
Mhm. So,
2 more.
I once
Two more rolls.
wrote a song about an albatross.
the crowd is cheering. This is another par 5 hole.
Oh boy. Well, let's hope my luck.
You do again have an opportunity to pump Osian for information.
Yes? Somebody help me with this.
Can you tell us how this all began?
How what all began?
Natural 20.
Me?
Rolling rocks over here.
Do you mean?
With
I don't
the
get it.
god with the God King.
Yeah, with
How do you-
Braceway
I'll be
in
honest with
general.
you. I don't quite understand it. The way it sounds, I left and it got bad.
What got bad?
The whole thing, from what you're telling me.
What was your involvement early on? What was it
Well-
like before it got bad?
It was good.
Thank you.
Partying every night, going out doing adventures, raiding catacombs, stealings from dragons.
That's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of what you're doing there. Glad to hear it. Glad the traditions are being kept alive. Ruin
Weren't-
after you.
Weren't you there when you and Citiline created the God King?
I didn't create the goddamn thing. She created it without me.
What did she say? Why did she create it?
She wanted an accountant.
Accountant?
Finances were getting complicated and
For your
too difficult to
businesses?
keep up with.
Well, why would you guys have need for an accountant? Why? Open it.
We ended up owing some 200 businesses, I think. It was
Why did you just hire an
ridiculous.
accountant? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, why the necessity to make one?
I didn't make it. I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it was a bad idea. I thought it was tantamount to slavery, and she did it anyway.
Did she describe to you in any detail, pillow talk, the sort? How
Ruin,
she
it's
was,
your swing.
how she was
Yes, I
able
got a natural 20.
Yeah.
Okay. And roll me dex.
14.
You are on the fairway.
Not the green.
Yeah, not the green. Osian rolled a natural 20 and confirmed his dex hit. Osian is on the green.
That means I get to go next.
Yes.
I'm driving, right?
Always looking on the positive side.
And I'm driving?
Still driving.
Okay. Well, I like that first roll better, so I keep that. Where'd it go? Oh, I have to remember it. That's always dangerous, but that's fine. 1, 2, 28.
Okay. Nice. You are now on the green. You are still behind Osian.
I get to go again. Now I'm putting, right?
Putting.
Wait a minute. 9.
You end up overshooting, and you end up on the rough.
I'm gonna drink some more and see if that helps.
Osian actually sees that you're going for it and pours you a glass and hands it to you. Take some time, think about what you're doing, line up your shot. You're going to want to chip. It's a slight angle going down. You're going to want to get just above it. Breathe. Don't worry about it. It's just a friendly game. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the ball. It's about the club. And it's about the environment. You're not fighting me. You're fighting the course. Okay?
I am at 1 with my golfing club.
Zermos uses his plant growth to kind of like make a little like root system, kind of like make a trough under the ball so that the ball is starting to creep its way towards the hole ever so slightly.
So do you remember the one rule Osian set when he said you could use magic shit?
What?
I'm not
No
interfering
interfering with the course.
I just the root. It was moved. Damn it. Fine.
Do you want to risk Osian noticing?
No, it's fine. We're already up. It's all good.
Okay.
22.
You sink. You sink it. How many was that?
3.
Okay.
Birdie.
That's no albatross.
I'm an albatross.
Osian sinks his. That's a 2 on his end.
That's an albatross.
Congratulations.
11. Congratulations to you too. You're
last
playing
one.
remarkably well.
Do you?
I
I'm not
have been
even sure
practicing.
who's ahead anymore.
Well, I'm sure it's me.
I like the confidence.
Only by, I think, 2, but still.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Osian, I'm gonna level with you.
7.
This creation of Citadines must be unmade.
Yeah,
you
that sounds
recall-
like a good idea.
Do you recall anything in its creation that you saw that could help us?
I wasn't involved with its creation. I saw what she made and I left.
Was anyone else besides her involved that would recall the details to help us put this creature back in its place?
Candlewick, if he's still alive.
Candelario?
No, Candlewick,
No,
Lampwick,
Candle-
not. We always
Little
make this
Candlewick,
mistake.
Lampolario.
We always make this mistake where we always mistake Candelario for Candlewick, even though we've never even met Candlewick.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you're
kind of
very
weird.
kind to say we make this mistake when generally it's Ruin. Strongly supported by Aisla.
It's been too long. Mikey and Zermos both forgot which one was which for a second there.
Thank you, Mikey, for joining me in the chaos of confusion.
I just want to say plug it in the whole time, but that's not a good joke. I have to let that one go.
Plug it in. Let the leaves fall where they may.
Zermos walks away from the golf course.
Okay. Rowan, he
Yes.
gestures to the final hole.
All right, I'm ready for this.
It is
This is
par
gotta
6.
be good.
Par
Par
6.
I gotta roll at
It's
least
a
a 20.
ridiculous one.
I gotta get a 20 here. I got to. Or not a 20. Let's try it again.
Wait. Oh, you rolled already.
No, I got my 2 advantages.
I know, but I was gonna try to one more bullshit bluffing for the last one.
Well, for my dex, you should definitely do that because my strength is great, but
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
22, 28.
Okay. You are on the fairway.
Do I roll the dex?
No, we won't
After that
confirm
one?
on that.
Okay.
I make you roll the dex when there's a possibility of you getting a hole in one. You're not getting a hole in one on a par 6.
It's too far.
It's too much reality for this fantasy game.
Osian is a little bit behind you.
So now he gets to go next. That's cool.
Okay, Osian is ahead of you. It's your turn.
Oh, let me see that club for just a second, Ruin.
Sure.
God, let me buff you. Can I use plant growth? Like, I've been watching her for the last 7 holes. I'm noticing like there's this like hitch in her swing, and I want to just kind of like use plant growth to kind of grow some extra counterweights for her club to like even out her stroke to help this one.
Roll me a nature check, and if you get above an 18, we'll say, I'll let her take like a bullshit double advantage thing where she gets to roll 3 times.
Ooh, buddy. All right, so I need a 13 or better here.
Mm-hmm.
You said 18, right? 18?
Yeah, I said an 18.
Ooh. Natural 1.
Oh man!
Zermos, you explode her golf club.
That was unintentional.
No worries, no worries. And Revenant casts Spiritual Weapon and creates a black golf club with a skull motif pattern painted on it.
Yeah, use that one. Don't use.
And
I
he
will put
casts
this
it
fire out.
at-
And
He casts at 3rd level, so it does double damage. So it goes twice as far.
Okay.
Oh
So-
boy.
Osian looks
Right.
at you and goes, better go for it.
Well, yeah. So, oh my goodness. This is like literally the worst I have done ever. It's fine. Okay. Oh, 17.
All right. You are still on the green.
So I'm behind him still, right?
No, you're in front of him now.
Okay, cool.
And he looks at the hole, and he looks at you, and he looks at the broken club, and he goes, you know, I've already lost. You're 3 ahead of me at this point, or I'm 3 above you. Golf is weird when we talk about it like this, but I just want to make a point. And he grabs your broken club, and he rolls his hand over it, and you see the hand become the feminine form, and magical energies pulse out into it, and you see it shift and rejoin and become this glowing amber weapon. And he raises the club one-handed and swings and gets it directly into the hole. Just making a point.
he's using the DK technique.
What's that?
Don't worry about it. Your turn, love.
Oh boy.
It's not that bad.
All right.
If you take less than 3, you got it.
Oh, that was really good. So 32.
Tell me how this goes down.
I hit it and it goes in.
You were holding a spiritual. You know what? Fine. Revenant, you tell me how it goes down.
There we go.
So like ghostly skeletal hands wrap around Ruin's hands and like give her an extra boost to her swing. And then as soon as she falls through, the thing disappears. like it was never there, and it goes in.
And Osian claps you on the back. So there's two things I want you to take away from this. You beat me.
Yeah,
It
not
took
really. but
all
thank you.
three of you to beat me.
Well, technically
it's
all
still
four
a
of us, because I think
victory.
you helped.
Thermos is looking around again for this party that helped.
I did no such thing.
Yes, Grandpappy. Thank you for not doing anything.
And he's giving the same smile that you give when you lie.
No.
And you can tell he doesn't even realize it.
Yeah, no, we're related. But thank you for not helping at all. But
So, and he points his fingers at the crowd. The rest of you get the fuck out of here. I got some explaining to do. And he sits down on top of the empty keg and pours himself out a drink from the half-empty keg. Let's get to talking then. And
we really do need some
do
help.
you all want to have this conversation now, or do you want to save it for next time?
Let's
I
save
can
it for
go to
next
10
time.
if you want to, but okay.
I'd like to save it to next time because I need to take my medication.
That's a cliffhanger then.
Shall raid them.
Raid Shadow Legends.
We do not mention that name unless they're giving us money.
They could. We
Sucks ass. I've played the game and it's fucking trash.
If
You want me to say something different? Pay us
Raid
money,
Shadow
Raid.
Legends, if you don't want us to trash your game, pay us.
I don't know if we can hold
Look,
other companies
all
hostage.
all I'm saying is the undead dogs are weak as shit in that game, and I feel offended.